Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today, we're talking 2022's Skinamarink, which was directed by Kyle Edward Bell. I'm your co host, Alec.
And I'm Eric, and I have the flu. Isn't that awesome? Hi, everyone. Let's
Kind
go.
of kind of perfect for this movie, honestly,
I feel
because
like I feel like this movie gave me the flu.
well, this movie to me, I saw it right when it came out, but the second I finished it, I was like, that felt like when you have the flu when you're a kid. That's what that movie felt like to me. It was like being sick as a kid.
Yeah, yeah, and it gave me the flu.
So you caught the flu from this movie. Yeah, this is a weird one. This is a weird one. Very
hmm
divisive. Very
And
divisive.
you've seen this twice now, and you just finished it for the second time.
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't see it in theaters, but I saw it, I think the day it dropped on Shudder or Hulu like 3 years ago. I saw it and I was like, I like it, I think. And then the second time watching it again, I think I had the same kind of criticisms the first time I did. It's a cool movie. I'm glad I've saw it. I'm glad I've seen it a couple times now, and I think I'm understanding it more now. But yeah, I don't know. What did you think of it?
Um, Honestly, I couldn't even walk you through the plot. If you were to ask me, like, what was the plot, I would have a tough time. And that's just me being honest. It reminded me of a lot of things. I thought visually it was very unique and very creative. You have to look at it on paper as a movie with a $15,000 budget. So if you look at it like that, you say, okay, are they being creative or are they being cheap? And it's a little of both. And that's my take.
Yeah, it's not. Here's the thing. All right, so this guy, Kyle Edward Ball, the guy that wrote and directed this, he did a movie called Heck, and it's like 20 or 30 minutes long or whatever. It's on YouTube, and it's basically like a proof of concept for this movie. I think this movie's a little too long. I feel like this movie needed to be like an hour 20 and then just be get out because
I,
it's
I
an hour
agree.
40.
Yeah,
And it sets a mood. You get into a mood with it, and by the end, it starts to get pretty creepy. And there's a couple parts where it's like, ooh, but it really takes its time getting there, and you're like, all right, another shot of Legos, like great. But
for real, for real.
yeah,
Yeah.
but in concept, it is creepy. You texted me, you're like, it reminded me of Eraserhead, and
Yeah,
watching it.
yeah, I have other comparisons too, but Eraserhead in some ways, because Eraserhead's kind of hard to wrap your Eraserhead around. But yeah, that's one the Twilight Zone movie, where with the house where they're stuck in the house, kind
Mm.
of had that feeling. What was the other one? One other, not Beetlejuice, but like being stuck in the house is kind of the feeling I got.
Yeah, because this we're gonna be all over the place. This movie
Oh, also
doesn't.
also Dark Side of the Moon. No, honestly, I just feel like this is a movie for a movie theater. For one thing, I think seeing it in the movie theater is probably visually better, and you get to like really immerse yourself in it. I'm watching on my couch, my dog's a little barking, so it kind of takes me out of some moments. And yeah, I did go on my phone once or twice, but I do think you have to be inebriated in some kind of way to enjoy it, like high. I feel like if you're high, you'd really enjoy this movie more. And especially when that like Fisher Price phone thing just eyes pop out. If you're like sitting there like, whoa, man, what's happening? And all of a sudden that happens, you're like, oh, am I having a heart attack?
That
Like,
part scared me.
that's the scariest part, hands down.
But the movie theater, I think you're right, because like I was watching on my TV today. It's big TV. I got a 75 incher, but it's so dark, this movie. Like visually, it is so hard to see things that like the reflection, the glare, I was like, ah. So if I was in a dark theater or like at night, watch it
Yeah,
at night, because it's pretty hard to see a lot of things. And I think that's kind of the appeal too, where like the quality of the film is so grainy that when like a black image is on screen, you like start to see things in it, which is kind of like, it's unsettling. But back to your Eraserhead thing. It's like Eraserhead and where it's a lot like David Lynch movies where it's just kind of like weird visuals that are just kind of like they're not unsettling on their own, but just kind of like the tone of it makes it unsettling. But David Lynch's stuff has more of a narrative, like way more of a narrative. This movie is just like image after image after image.
May I ask you what you before we do before I ask you what the plot is, let me go through the stats because we brought up a few things already. This came out on July 25th, 2022, and there was nationally released on January 13th, 2023. Its runtime, like you mentioned, is an hour 40 long for this kind of movie. Its budget was 15,000, which we mentioned. It made 2.1 million. Its critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is 73%. Its audience score is 44%, which means there's a lot of people that probably hated this movie.
Yeah, I think I know why. I mean, when this trailer dropped, I was like, whoa, this movie looks so scary. I was like, I don't even know what it's about, but I was so into it. And then when I saw the movie, I was like, not what I was expecting. It's too experimental. It's
You,
just, you know,
you asked me right before we recorded this to watch the trailer, which I did, and it's the like in this house,
in
in this
this
house, in
house.
this house,
Yeah.
in this
Scary
house.
though, right?
It is very scary, but I'm gonna say this: people are gonna get mad at the people that love this movie. You extend that trailer just 10 more minutes, and that's the movie in some extent.
All right. Let me give you a breakdown then of what I think's going on in this movie. So this might seem crazy, but what I think it is, I think Kevin is the boy who's in a coma and he's hearing all of this stuff in the background and it's out of sequence because he's not conscious and he's losing his memory as he's slowly dying and like little like the toilet disappears and like doors start disappearing and he can't hear his sister anymore. And so I think it's like he's in a coma because he fell down the stairs and hit his head and now he can't remember anything or he's dying basically. And I think the final image of that face is his like mother or somebody's face as he's fading and then he just dies
As he's
uh,
passing away or waking up,
as he's dying.
you
Like
think he dies, so that's
yeah,
sad.
I think he dies. And I think the other thing is, I think something happened between the mother and the father. I don't know if maybe the dad stabbed the mom, but somebody got stabbed, I feel like. And then the kid fell down the stairs. Something, because somebody called the police. The kid called the police,
Yeah,
we think.
what was the part of the eye? Didn't the kid poke his eye out or something?
So
What
yeah,
explain that?
we're
It's
never gonna
hard.
know exactly, but so either he stabbed his sister in the eye or he stabbed himself in the eye. But yeah, somebody stabbed themselves or got stabbed in the eye. Blood got drawn somehow. The police got called somehow. It's all out of order, so you don't really know what's going on. It's never on screen. You're just hearing things.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think Kevin called the police and then maybe fell down the stairs or something like that. And then this is him like slowly fading into death.
Yeah, because I was that's I didn't come up with that on my own. I read that he was in a coma, and then there's also that screen that says like day 572 or
Yeah,
something, which means he's been in a coma for a very long time, over a year,
yeah.
if that's what we're thinking of. But I don't know. It's a little too ambiguous and hard to wrap your head around. I wouldn't recommend it to my mom to watch,
No,
like, you know what I mean?
no.
Like, I wouldn't recommend, like, could you imagine? Oh, wait, could you imagine my grandpa watching this?
He'd just
Like,
be like, shut this off.
no, he'd be like, what? I can't see anything.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What the hell is this? Like it would be fun to watch it with an older person because it's bad. Like we used to watch Game of Thrones and there's a lot of dark scenes. He's like, I can't see anything. He would say, like he would say. So this movie, I think he would be like, turn this shit off, is what like I can hear him saying.
Yeah, it's definitely for a certain type of person.
For
Like,
sure. For sure.
it's not for everybody. This is not doesn't have mass appeal. But I guess the best explanation I can give to somebody that hasn't seen it, basically, it's like if you've seen Sinister and you like the reels, like the scary parts of that movie that he's watching the 16 millimeter, it's basically like living in that for an hour and 40 minutes, but there's no gore or people.
Well, there's a blood splatter scene towards the end.
Yeah, but it's not like the Sinister,
There's a
tapes.
there's a couple jump
Whatever.
scares, but really there's not a whole lot, dude.
It's an atmosphere. So it like tries to build an atmosphere sort of thing and it starts to slowly deliver at the end, but it doesn't really sink a landing.
The old cartoon scene when it's like
Yeah. I think I know what's up with that.
what is that? Is that machines
So
around him?
no. Well, maybe that's actually a good. Yeah, that might be it. It might be like an air machine or whatever. But what I think it is also, um, because you see it, so the rabbit disappearing. So it's just like, and it
Yeah,
keeps
just getting
repeating.
crunched.
And then you notice the little dinosaur doll disappears, and it's like, oh, this is him losing more and more memories. I feel like it's in a cycle of something disappearing. It's like, okay, another thing's disappearing, and another thing's disappearing, and then you don't know which way is up anymore. And I think that's why he's upside down. And then I just think it's, yeah.
That's really sad when you think of it that way. It's
That's what
really
I
sad.
thought was happening because all these things start disappearing around the
The
room once,
doors, the
yeah.
windows start.
And then there was another part. I feel like the cartoons are a parallel of what's happening in the movie because there's another part where they're putting a kid or a crow on a stretcher and then taking it away. And then you see it like on a spider web, like trying to get up or whatever. And I was like, okay, that feels like he got taken to the hospital and is put in a bed and now he's getting like restrained. Like that's kind of what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And there's one other part too earlier because you can tell his sister and him are like together. So maybe it's like him about to lose the memory of his sister, but they're watching a cartoon where a boy and a girl are falling asleep together. And then you hear them snoring, and then they get woken up or whatever, and the cartoon ends. So I don't know. I feel like the cartoons are telling a lot more,
But
than I
what's with the go come upstairs in the voice? What is that?
don't, I
Is that
don't
the
know.
dad? Is that the dad? Is that like
Y- Yeah, because they keep saying like, "Where's dad?" or whatever. So that's why I think something terrible happened with the mom and dad, and then and then he goes into the coma and he's like reliving that traumatic experience because he's only 4 years old. So it's like he that's probably a huge moment in his life, whatever might have happened. Um, but yeah, it's really confusing, and I've only seen it twice. I feel like if I watch it again, maybe, but it's weird. I think this movie's rated R with the exception of like the poke your eye with a knife and the blood or whatever, this could have been a G movie,
no
honestly.
PG at least.
Well, here's
PG
the
at least.
thing. If you took out the eye knife thing and the blood, there's nothing scary about this
PG-13.
movie. No, there's nothing scary about this
I think
movie.
it's just like scary tones for
Yeah, but
kids.
that's
Yeah.
like, if you remove the violent parts, it's like 1% of the movie. The rest of it is just weird images of a scary house. Like there's
In
nothing,
PG-13 you get two F-bombs, right?
they don't have any swears in this movie.
Nothing, not
There's no
one. Yeah.
drugs, no
Not a lot of
swearing.
dialogue in general.
There's almost no people in it. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it
so
also
like
has that like found footage feel where it's like it feels like like a camera. You're like and
yeah.
it's like found footage but not found footage. It's like found footage without being found footage, if that makes any sense. But
Yeah, and it takes place in 1995, which is weird because like you'd think they would have used a digital camera, not this like grainy old like 70s camera. You're like, why is this taking place in the 90s if they're using like a Super 8 camera or whatever it's filmed on? But I don't know. I would have, I guess because there's VCRs, they wanted to use those, but I don't know. It's weird why it takes place when it does, because it doesn't really seem relevant to the plot to have it take place in 1995, but use a camera that would have been, popular in the 70s. So
yeah.
I don't really know. But I like the way it looks. I mean, it's cool. It's different. I've never seen a movie like this,
Yeah.
especially now a modern film.
Visually appealing, very creative. $15,000 creative though. That's Miley, by the way, everyone. Say hi to Miley. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's not too much more to talk about.
Well, let's see. So it's
Did the
Canadian.
director say anything about this movie? Like, is it just he just like interpreted it the way you want, or is there like I couldn't find anything like where he's like, no, it's about a boy in a coma. And there's no direct like, what are we watching?
I don't know. I barely know anything about this movie. I've only seen it twice, and I just finished it seconds before we started recording. So I really don't know much about it other than that. But yeah, specific things about the movie though, the little there's all these little toys throughout the movie. There's
Mhm.
Legos and dolls and stuffed animals and stuff. But there's this one little it's like I don't even know, like a little car that rolls or whatever and it makes noise and stuff like that. And that thing is like definitely the scariest thing in the movie. And
Yeah,
when the lights are off, you see its eyes. And it's definitely not that toy, whatever it was when the light was off and then it comes on and it's that thing. But that moment actually got me this time. I was watching, I was like, Jesus Christ, because
yeah,
you're so intent on looking to be like, what am I
yeah.
looking
What am
at?
I
And then
looking?
all of
Yeah,
a sudden, then
exactly.
it does something.
Are you
So
talking about that like the phone thing that like
yeah,
its eyes pop out? Yeah, that was like towards the end of the movie too. So if
yeah.
you're locked into this movie and you are in a dark room and you've watched that and that happens, absolutely like mind terrifying.
It'll get you.
Yeah,
It'll get you. But yeah, no, this movie really did remind me though of like when I was a kid and had like strep throat or something like that. And
kinda,
like,
because fever dream, like you just kind of just fall asleep and you're just like, what am I dreaming of
well,
sometimes?
you would
It's
hear like water. It's, like you'd hear like a pipe like rushing, like a toilet flushing, and it's like a sound you hear in your subconscious that you're not paying attention to, but when you're like sleeping and you're sick and you're sweaty, it's just like this movie really captured that feeling, I feel like. Everything was like low, so it felt like you were a kid, like, playing on the carpet with toys and stuff like that. And so it's very like specific feeling if you remember that fever dream feeling
Yeah,
from.
I like the shots too of the outside. It looked like there was two houses, like with the roofs, and it would shoot up.
Yeah.
So I thought my thought is that that's probably him remembering laying down outside, like right before it's bedtime, and just
Yeah.
like yeah. But the way you put it, where a kid is in a coma and he is slowly passing away, is like that's really a dark theme.
That's what I think it is. I mean, I don't know if I'm right,
Yeah,
but one thing that this is crazy, and people are probably gonna be like, all right, Alex is an insane person. But I remember this so distinctly. When I was probably like 7 or 8, I was at my grandparents' house, my mom's parents' house, not their big house, but the house before that. It was near the middle school in Avon. And I
yeah.
was playing in my mom's childhood bedroom. And I swear to God, I was a kid. I swear to God, I looked towards the door and the hinges started moving inwards. I swear on my life. And I jumped out of the room into the hallway. And I don't know why this movie like reminded me of that moment so much from when I was a
Hmm.
kid. I mean, obviously nothing happened. I'm sure I was just a kid seeing things, but I like that moment scared me so much when I was a kid. I felt like the doors were actually like the hinges were moving in.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Sometimes like when I get up too fast or like sit too long and I move my head a certain way as I'm 35 now, I get like dizzy and like things like start to move a little bit too. And I think that just
yeah.
happens naturally. So maybe were you sick when you were in your mom's?
I don't think so. I
You were
mean,
probably like half asleep, like in and out of that
yeah.
period, but before you're fully woken up, you know. So I do remember us in Martha's Vineyard. I think this was like 2008 or five, not 7 or 6, and we were in a house, and both of us we were in twin beds next to each other, and the door did close, and it I don't know if it was your brother or someone in the hallway, but we had this like vibe between us where we felt like this something's up. Like, remember that? That was a long time ago.
I don't really,
But I
yeah.
remember that was like a like the chill down your spine feeling that you get. That freaked me out. And then I have another memory of working security for Westminster School and doing the rounds, and there was this building called the Armory. I would walk in, do some things, check it out, and then as I'm leaving, I always have this feeling like something was behind me, like pushing me out. It was like, dude, I can't even explain it, but it was a weird feeling. And I just wanted to add to your craziness so that you're not alone.
I mean, I was a kid, who knows? But it's just weird because this movie really captured that feeling again for me. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what this movie is. It's like the doors are disappearing. You're like, that is a very scary concept of like the doors and the
God, I can't
windows
imagine.
in your house disappear and you can't escape. Like, that's a pretty
Yeah.
scary feeling.
And that's why it
Um,
reminded me of the Twilight Zone movie when they're in the house and then you can't leave. Or Beetlejuice when you're dead and in the house you can't leave. There's, just getting stuck.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm pretty sure that's a segment in VHS too, that horror series, where they like can't get out of the house. Yeah, that idea just is really scary. But yeah, I hope this director goes on to do more. I mean, it was ambitious, but it was really cool. And dude, $15,000 for a $2 million
Shit,
dollar return.
let's put some money together and make something.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Seriously. I mean,
that's probably the lowest beside I mean Paranormal Activity is obviously the biggest one you could think of. I think they had $150,000 budget and made like 300 million. But to turn $15,000 into a 2 point something million movie, that's incredible. Good for him.
yeah, and I think the only reason like Paranormal Activity would do better is it's just it has a plot. It has like a narrative,
There's more
like.
of a plot,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can like easily relate to the characters on screen. Where this movie, I genuinely don't think we ever see a full body. Like you see
We do
feet.
see we don't see a full body, you're right.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
kid like kind of walking around the kitchen or something and he
You'll
turns
see
around.
the back of a head or you'll
Yeah.
see little feet walking or whatever, but it's like
Never full.
No,
So
I mean one of the yeah, a couple of the scariest shots though I think is when they go into one of the bedrooms and they're like look under the bed and they like bring the kid and like the kid looks under the bed and it's so dark and all you see is grain or whatever and there's nothing there and he comes up and then there's just the girl sitting on the other bed like facing the wall. You're like, all right, what is happening? So there are moments you're like, all
yeah,
right.
no, it does a good job. So I'll give this movie some kudos, and I don't want to knock it, but it is it's long. It's
It's too
long.
long. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too long.
But it definitely is unique. You won't find anything like this. And Skinamarink, why that name?
I think it's a toy name. I don't
No, it's a
know though.
song name. It's Skinamarink-a-dink-a-doo,
Oh, yeah.
Skinamarink-a-doo. I love you. And I do love you, Alec. So, I
You
mean, they
could.
might as well call it Zippity Doodah. Zippity Doodah, come in this house.
Well, that's actually makes me think too. Like, what about in like 50 years when they're making movies? Like, are they gonna pull like movie or songs from today and like try and make them scary? It'll just be like "Baby Shark doo 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 baby," because all the scary songs are from like the
You're not
50s and
you're
stuff,
not far
right?
off, man. You're not far off. But
It'll just
Skinamarink is a name that also you kind of like think like Babadook. That's a name. So I thought Skinamarink was going to be something. I looked up the origin, like what is Skinamarink? It's just from a song. It's just from a song.
yeah, that's the thing. I think when you if it, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my God, it's like a demon movie. It's like shot on
You
Super
felt that,
8.
yeah, like a Babadook or something.
Right. But then you watch it, and now when I watch it, I'm like, I don't think there's anything evil. Like, I don't think there's any demons or anything. It's just something terrible happened at this house. We never get to see it, and now this kid's dying. Like, that's all when I watch it, it's more sad for,
Yeah.
than I think it's scary.
What about the ending when the face is there? It's grainy. It's definitely an older
All
person
right. You know what I
telling
think
him
it is?
go to
All
sleep. Do you
right.
think that's the dad?
All right. This is
Oh,
crazy. This is what I
no.
think. I think because the first, that's not the first thing you see, but your first connection with life is when you come out of your mother, and maybe this was him seeing his mother, and that was the last
Do you
thing.
think that was a woman?
I think it was a woman. I think it was full circle moment. It was like you're born, your mother, you're connected with your mother, you come out, and then as he was dying, that was the last thing he was seeing was like the first
Can I
thing he
give
was
you a
seeing.
crazy theory that now that we're talking coma and dad may have murdered the mom? Um, Imagine like the son's the only witness and the dad's
Yeah.
like go to sleep and like is like
Mm,
unplugging him or like
mm.
total Jack Nicholson. What do you think of that?
That could be it too. That
Like go to
definitely could be
sleep.
it. Yeah.
Like and he's like imagine like the son's the only witness for the dad. That could
Dude,
be a
that's
good.
probably it. I bet the dad stabbed the mom and then oh, okay. I think this is really it now. The dad stabbed the mom. Kevin saw it, so he pushed him down the stairs,
Yep.
okay? And
Now we're on
then
to something.
the daughter, Kaylee, it was like he's like she wouldn't stop talking, so I had to get rid of her mouth. So he must have maybe killed his sister, killed his daughter too, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's
Maybe.
very, very sick.
That actually might be it.
When he's like go to sleep.
And then
Like
he might be putting the pillow over his kid's face, maybe. I don't know. Dude, this movie's ambiguous.
that's so dark. That's so dark. But that's like one thing I thought of, like bringing the whole coma thing 572 days. Like imagine the dad like did all this and the son's waking up and he's trying to keep his memories and stuff.
Yeah.
And the 572 days and the dad's like he has signs like coming back. I don't want to risk it. That's sick. That
That
just
would
I
that
feel
makes sense.
disgusted coming like thinking of that. Not coming up with it, but
I
having
would
that
love
theory.
to interview the director,
Ugh,
but it is what it
gross.
is. But yeah,
Gross.
listen, it's not for everybody, but if you're curious, check it out. Go in with, don't go in with expectations. It's probably not going to be what you think it is, but overall, I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah, wouldn't recommend this to anyone over 50. No, not trying to knock that, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a younger generation type of movie.
Yeah, it's spooky, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, Eric, what do you say you spin the
We
wheel?
shall. We shall. Quick one. I mean,
It's tough to talk about a movie with
yeah,
no
with
real
yeah,
plot.
I
I
know,
mean,
I know. It was good. It was good. All right, let's do this. Uh, spinning. What we got? What we got? What we got? What we got?
oh,
The Purge election year. Kind of,
woo!
yeah, that'll be good. I like the Purge movies. Those are always fun.
Yeah,
Those
I've
are always
never seen
good.
any of them aside from the ones we covered, so
I
let's
think
go.
I think this is the next one in order that we've done. So Yeah,
I hope
for all you
so.
Purge fans, listen in. Yeah, I wouldn't bounce. We bounce around quite a bit sometimes, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is in order. So,
All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our episode on Skinamarink, and we will see you next week with the Purge election year.
woo!